The green dots mean that you're on page one of Google via the map pack. So someone who searches for locksmith near me directly at those dots, either my client will show up or not. And it's so critical for them to be on page one of Google. That's where the majority of impressions will be, and phone calls and website clicks will happen because most people only click on the first couple. So what I did over here was I went to Microsoft Paint. I pulled in their trend report. Every time I run a scan, Local Falcon will save the scan, so I'm able to always, track their progress. This view is a little bit difficult to read, especially when you start doing so many scans. But what I want to call out is that back in April 22nd, they had less than a 7% share of local voice. So again, out of the 11 by 11 grids, that's 121 dots. They only had basically less than 7% of the time they were on page one. Today, the same 11 by 11 grid in the 6 mile radius, it's 20% of the time. So you can understand now that we've improved now drastically how many places we're on page one of Google for. Again, that's what's leading to more high quality impressions and phone calls for them. So you might be asking, that's great. Well, Greg, what did you do? And what, more importantly, what can I do for my business to improve our ranks? So I'm going to demo off TM Blast over here. It's because I'm able to share my profile, and it's just the best way for me to kind of go over this. So to start, what you want to do is you want to go into your performance tab over here, and you want to scroll all the way down until you get to the search queries that are triggering your report. So for me, when I onboarded them, I saw Locksmith near me was definitely in the top three when it came to searches breakdown. So I knew that was a critical term for us to improve. So I threw that into Local Falcon, and I got the initial baseline. Again, they were at a 6.61% for share of local voice for the keyword Locksmith near me. I knew I had to focus on that to improve the ranks. So what did I do next? Well, if you go back into your edit profile section over here, one thing that I always encourage everyone to do is go to your service area. You have up to 20 listings that you can, place. Get specific. So when I've onboarded a bunch of clients actually from New York City, and a lot of times they'll just say we service New York City, or we'll do Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Manhattan, etc. But there's more neighborhoods that are in there. So for example, in Brooklyn, you could be in Park Slope, but you can also service Sheepshead Bay. That's a big difference. But if you just say that you just do Brooklyn, it's very vague. You get specific into the neighborhoods. That's how you're actually able to rank a little bit better for, for example, for Brooklyn. So for my clients too, I look at the service areas, I look at the heat map for the near me queries, and I look for the towns and cities nearby that I think we can get really competitive in. I'm going to list them off there. That's step one, the service area. Next, what I always recommend too is getting Google reviews. So Google reviews is a ranking factor. It's not the biggest ranking factor, but what I've noticed though for my local clients is that if you can get reviews in places that you want to be ranking competitive in, let's say for a locksmith, if you can handle the service out there, I'll just make up a city, pretend you're in Baltimore, Maryland. If you can get more reviews directly in Baltimore, Maryland, someone's leaving that review, that's actually a signal for Google. They can see where the review was posted from. That might give a little bit more weighted signal for you to rank directly in Baltimore because you're getting reviews for that particular service. Let's keep looking at the next part too that I always recommend. Updates. Updates is this section over here where you can list off whatever's going on with your business. So for the near me query, what I recommend is if you're mobile, let's say like you're an HVAC company or you're a locksmith and you're going to nearby towns around your location, share that as the update. Say, hey, we're going to be in this town today. Share the photo of the team, a quick blurb about whatever you're doing. So if you're a contractor, you might say, hey, and I'll pretend we're in my location. You might say, we're going to be in Glens Falls today working on a kitchen remodeling project. Later on this week, we'll be in Saratoga Springs, New York. That example where you have the updates where you're listing off different towns nearby, like that's the near me part. So when Google's looking at the rankings, they're saying, okay, got it. Like this business here, they list off their service areas, but they're also, and they're getting, reviews too, but then they're also posting that they're in these areas. If you can post these updates when you're in those towns and cities, it's hard to say if Google removes the geo part of the upload, but I still feel like it has a lot of credibility behind it though. So if you're able to post those updates where you're in those cities and towns, I think that really gives like a weighted signal for Google. Plus also for users too, they're going to see that you actually do travel to these areas. Again, I think it's dwell time. I think Google looks at these signals to rank a little bit better. Last but not least, this is just my last tip for near me. So what I like to do with my clients is I'm going to go to my website over here. I like to embed the Google My Business map directly into the website because that's such an easy signal for users and also for Google as well. Because I can list off my address over here where I'm in Boston Spa, but then I have my map directly down there. So the connection now is between my Google My Business account and also my website. So I'm connecting the two together. I'm showing users how to get there. You can click on View Larger Map. You can click on directions. You can do whatever you want. You can now interact with my business profile. It really creates that connection between what I list off as my address, my map, and then that's also in relation to where the searcher is clicking on as well. That's why the near me part is so critical. So anyway, I'll go back into this view. I guess this is the most important. This map changing, it does take a while. You can see it's taken about 2 months or so for me, but every time I'm running scans, I'm looking for dots that I can flip. And these dots, again, if I can just win at these areas, it's going to lead to more impressions and more phone calls for my client and hopefully more customers as well. That's really all I care about. That's the whole point of this heat map. Anyway, I hope this video might have sparked some ideas of what you can do to improve your rankings. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, have a good rest of your day.